Hey everybody, it's Sunday night and this is Cooking with John. It was the weirdest day in Vancouver today because it was pouring rain one minute, sunny the next minute, overcast. I mean, we had it all, that's for sure. Okay, so Cooking with John tonight is a little bit experimental. This is called a Szechuan braised tofu beef. Mapo tofu, it's called. I have a friend in Seattle named Dan, and he takes me to all these places all over Seattle and drags me into these unbelievable little boîtes that you think you're going to be catapulted into another world, and the food is absolutely unbelievable. So one of these dishes that he took me for one time was this braised beef dish, this Szechuan beef dish, and I found a recipe for it, so I'm being very experimental with it, seeing if I can't pull it off. Okay, so I've got some chicken broth in 2 cups of chicken broth in a bowl here with some chopped scallions, and I'm going to add some tofu. Now, tofu is not my personal favorite. I know my girlfriend Connie, who's vegan, loves tofu, but this is tofu. Okay, so you put that in a bowl with the scallions, and you can use vegetable broth if you want to. And I'm just going to heat that up. Now in this pan here, I've got a little bit of lean ground beef. That's the 90% beef, 10% fat ground beef. And what you do is you take the ground beef and sprinkle about a teaspoon of baking soda on it. Now this breaks up the beef a little bit, and you don't get those weird little pebbles. It's a very weird little tip, but I love doing it, and the beef is succulent and lovely. Okay. Then I've got some rice noodles here in boiling hot water for 8 minutes, and those turn absolutely lovely. And I'm going to walk you guys over here to my Cuisinart because some stuff's going to happen over here. Okay, can we see that? There we go. Okay, in the Cuisinart I've got a little bit of garlic, and I'm going to let that rip for a second here, set up my Cuisinart properly. There we go. Let the garlic get a little chop action going on. Okay, that's about 5 or 6 cloves of garlic, depending on the size of the garlic you've got. And I've got fermented black beans. This is a tablespoon of fermented black beans. It's pretty lethal stuff. Don't overdo the black bean sauce. It's very delicious. This is hoisin, which is like a Chinese version of ketchup. I've got a tablespoon of that as well. Okay. Luckily enough, I live near a Korean market, and they have this stuff. It's a Korean chili paste, and it comes in the grooviest little box with a snap-on lid. But of course, you can't pronounce it because it's all in Korean. But you need 2 tablespoons of that, and it's very, very spicy. It's got a real kick to it, but it's very delicious. And what I'm going to do is just get my lid back on my Cuisinart and let that rip from there. Okay. Doing its thing here. Now, one of the crucial elements of my dish is something called Szechuan peppercorns. My grocery store can carry Szechuan peppercorns, so I'm going to use what's called ancho chili. And it's kind of the same thing. It's got virtually the same flavor. And I'm just going to feed that into the feeding tube as well. And, and a little bit of oil. Maybe about 2 tablespoons while it's doing its thing, just to give it a little sexiness, and it makes this really cool paste. Okay, so back over here, I'm going to take my beef out of my pan here, and coming down to the wire here with the noodles. Everything's happening at once here. Okay, getting the beef out of the bowl here, back into the pan. There we go. Okay. I'm going to take my paste here, take the blade out of here, and I'm just going to put this in the pan and let it just cook up and get kind of sexy and kind of happening in the pan. Very, very flavorful, very delicious, and all that. Okay, now just make sure my noodles are absolutely al dente here, which they are. Give me 1 second, you guys. I'll be right back. I'm just going to drain my noodles. Talk amongst yourselves. And we're gonna assemble our little dish here in 2 seconds. There we go. So that's getting just nicely cooked here. Oh, it smells like heaven in here, you guys. I'm gonna dump my beef in there. Let that do its thing here. Okay, so this is kind of like a soup. You kind of make a broth out of it, and it's very, very delicious. And there we go, that's getting all sorts of action. And dump the noodles in there as well. Okay, microwave, I'm coming already. There we go. And finally, the warm broth with the scallions and the tofu in here as well makes for this delicious dish. You kind of eat it like a soup with a spoon and a broth. That's absolutely delicious. This is my dinner for tonight, you guys. So we'll see if it tastes as good as it does in the restaurant where my friend works. Oh, just a little bit of soy sauce just to make sure it's got all the flavors it needs here. And we got it made. That's my dish tonight, you guys. Have a good night. Talk to you soon. Bye.